So I want to take some time today and talk about Carrie, because Carrie was one of my favorite movies that I checked out when I was first starting to get into a lot of these different kinds of horror movies growing up. And I've seen a lot of the Stephen King films when it comes to obviously Carrie that we're talking about today, Pet Sematary, Cujo, which we will eventually talk about those other two films that I talked about eventually on the channel. But today I wanted to talk about Carrie because there's just something about Carrie's story that still resonates with a lot of teenagers today. And even, things that I saw growing up as a kid when it came to my surroundings. And I basically want to dive into that conversation and explain exactly what I mean by that. So let's just get straight into it right now. So I think one of the most powerful parts of Carrie is how it captures what it's like to feel completely alone in a crowd. Because in the 1976 film, Carrie White is known to be this shy, awkward high school girl who's relentlessly bullied for her appearance and social awkwardness. Because early in the movie, there's a scene in the locker room where Carrie, played by Sissy Spacek, gets her first period and panics because she doesn't understand what's going on. The other girls, led by Chris Hargensen, mock her and throw tampons, chanting cruelly. Watching that scene, I felt this knot in my stomach because it reminds me of how brutal it can be to feel different or humiliated in front of others. And that kind of isolation is something I've seen in my own life, and I know it's still a reality for many teenagers. Bullying hasn't disappeared, it's just changed, because in today's world, it often happens online through harsh comments or posts on a lot of different social media platforms that can spread in a matter of seconds. And I've even had friends who've been hurt by a single mean message that everyone seems to see, making them feel like Carrie, exposed and powerless. The film shows how this cruelty pushes Carrie to her breaking point, and while we don't have telekinesis, that feeling of being overwhelmed by rejection is something every teen can understand. And what really strikes me about Carrie is how it shows the consequences of bullying, not just for the victim, but for everyone else involved as well. Sue Snell, one of the popular girls, feels guilty for joining in the locker room incident and tries to make up for it by asking her boyfriend Tommy to take Carrie to the prom. But even her good intentions can't stop the chain of events that leads to disaster, which makes me think about the times that I've stayed silent when someone was being treated unfairly when I was a lot younger. And it's just a reminder that being a bystander can have its own impact, something I thought about back then as a teenager navigating school dynamics. And for teenagers today, Carrie's isolation feels so real because we all face moments of feeling left out or judged, whether it's at school or online. And the film doesn't sugarcoat how painful that can be, and it challenges us to think about how we treat others. Carrie's story resonates because it shows the human cost of cruelty and makes us want to create a world where no one feels like they're on the outside looking in. That's why this story still matters to us. And another reason Carrie feels so relevant is how it portrays the struggle of living under a controlling parent. In the film, Carrie's mother, Margaret White, is a deeply religious woman who sees sin in everything, from Carrie's curiosity about her body to her desire to attend prom. Margaret locks Carrie in a closet to pray for hours, punishing her for normal teenage behavior. And as a teenager, I've had moments where I felt like my parents' rules were suffocating. And while my situation isn't as extreme as Carrie's, I connect with her need to break free and be herself. Margaret's control comes from her fanatical beliefs, which makes Carrie feel ashamed of who she is. I remember back then when I was talking to friends who felt like they couldn't express themselves at home, whether it was because of strict rules about grades, or who they hung out with, or what they shared online. In the film, Margaret calls prom sinful and tries to stop Carrie from going, And even as Carrie begs for a chance to be normal, that tension wanting to grow into your own person while feeling trapped by your parents' expectations is something I think every teen experiences at some point in their life. And what I love about Carrie's story is how she starts to push back against her mother. As her telekinetic powers grow, she uses them to stand up to Margaret, like when she forces her mother to let her go to prom by slamming windows shut with her mind. It's a small but powerful moment of rebellion, and it reminds me of times I've had to set boundaries with my parents, like saying I need space to make my own choices. Carrie's courage to fight for her independence felt very inspiring. For teens today, this part of Carrie speaks to our journey of finding our own identity, whether it's convincing our parents to let us pursue a hobby they don't understand or standing up for our beliefs. We all face moments where we need to claim our space, and Carrie's struggle for mothers shows both the strength it takes to do that and the pain of not being understood, which is why her story still feels so close to our own experiences. And one of the most gripping parts of Carrie is how it captures the intensity of teenage emotions, especially anger. In the film, Carrie's telekinesis is tied to her feelings, and when she's humiliated at prom, when Chris dumps pig's blood on her in front of everyone, her anger unleashes a devastating telekinetic outburst, setting the gym on fire and killing many of her classmates. As a teenager, I felt moments of frustration so strong I wanted to scream, and while I don't have powers like Carrie, I understand that urge to lash out when life feels unfair. The film didn't shy away from showing where Carrie's anger comes from. Years of bullying, her mother's abuse, and the betrayal at prom build up until she can't hold it in anymore. I think every teenager knows what it's like to feel overwhelmed by emotions, whether it's anger at a friend who let you down or frustration with the pressures of school and life. In today's world, we face so much. Constant news about global problems, academic stress, social media drama. It can all feel like those emotions are going to burst out of us. Carrie's story shows what happens when those feelings have nowhere to go. What's fascinating is how the film makes Carrie's power feel both thrilling and tragic. When she uses her telekinesis at prom, it's like she's finally taking control after years of being powerless, and part of me cheers for her in that moment. I've had times where standing up for myself felt like tapping into that kind of strength, like when I've spoken up about something that mattered to me. But Carrie also shows the danger of letting those emotions take over completely, which makes me think about the importance of finding healthy ways to express what I'm feeling. For teenagers today, Carrie's emotional intensity resonates because it reflects our own struggles to manage big feelings. Whether it's through talking to someone we trust, writing, or finding another outlet, we need ways to process those emotions. Carrie's story is a powerful reminder of both the strength we have inside of us and the need to handle our feelings carefully, which is why it continues to connect with us so deeply. So those are my thoughts when it comes to Carrie's story, when it comes to how it could relate to a lot of people. Obviously not the same circumstance, because I mean, I don't think anybody's going to automatically develop telekinesis and just do everything that Carrie did in this film. But basically the message of this film is just, seeing somebody go through so much and then eventually comes to the point where they just can't take it out anymore. But now I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. How do you feel about Carrie, the film itself? How do you guys feel about Carrie's story? Just anything revolving around this film. Like, how do you guys feel about what I said? Just let me know all your thoughts surrounding this in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoy the content on the channel, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you guys want to follow me on my social media, be sure to check out my X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All the links to those are located in the description below, so make sure to follow me on there. Also, be sure to join my Discord server if you guys want to talk more about video games, horror, cartoons, TV shows, and movies, just like how we're doing today. The link to my Discord server is pinned in the comment section down below, so if you're interested in joining the server, click that link. It will automatically direct you to the server itself. Be sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are notified whenever I drop a new video just like this one on the channel. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.